The number one question I get here on Propelio is, what do I do next? I just got a contract. What do I do next? Somebody just called me about a foreclosure. What do I do next? And the concepts of real estate investing really aren't that hard. Buy a house for $70,000, put $30,000 into it, sell it for $140,000. You pull away a $40,000 gross profit. Not a difficult concept. I was actually at the office the other day, and one of my business partners said something to me that kind of caught me off guard. He said, real estate is the hardest simple thing you'll ever do. And whenever he said that, it kind of perplexed me. I was kind of like, what do you mean? How can something be hard and simple at the same time? And he compared that to dieting. Dieting is very simple as a concept. You control what you eat, you go work out, and you lose weight. It's a really simple mathematical formula. A, B, C, it's done. And real estate investing is quite similar. You buy a house at a discount, put some money into it to fix it up, and then turn around and sell it for a profit. Not a difficult concept. I got started in real estate close to 10 years ago, and I bought my very first house at 23 years old, and I cleared almost a $97,000 gross profit on that single property. I rolled that profit into 4 or 5 more properties, and under a year, almost doubled my money. But on that very last property I rolled my money into, I lost a pretty good chunk of change. It was a bit of a kick to my ego. At a very young age, I was doing really well. I was moving from property to property, making money, and with very little education at all, I was able to pull that off. And so I came off of that loss, and I was like, you know what? I need to learn some more. So I picked up some books, and that's where I first got introduced to Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Philosophies. And I picked up a book, and it was one of Robert Kiyosaki's book, and it talked a lot about, buying apartment complexes and cash flowing apartment complexes, etc. So I was probably only 26, maybe 27 years old at the very latest. Whenever I bought that when I tried to buy that apartment complex. So I went under contract on an 83-unit apartment complex at the age of 26 or 27 years old. And even though I got quite a ways through my due diligence period, I sourced a key principal to back me on the project. I ended up not getting to close on it. So I came off of a loss on a single-family house, rolled it into a loss on a multifamily house, and I was like, man, this is a struggle. I felt like, I saw other real estate investors going further and faster, and I really wanted to mimic and model that. So, I sought out some mentorships, and I got in with the Rich Dad Education with Robert Kiyosaki's group. And in under 6 months or so, approximately 6 months or so in 2012, by the time 2013 rolled around, I was inducted into the Rich Dad Hall of Fame. That was a really big highlight in my life. And since then, I've been in full-time real estate now for close to 6 years. And all I can say about it is real estate has completely and totally changed my life. Growing up the way I grew up, opportunities weren't apparent to me. They weren't shown to me. I've got a brother and sister right now that are younger than I am that passed away due to drug and alcohol related incidents. And that's the life that I grew up in, and that's how I was raised. And to be exposed to real estate at such a young age and those philosophies really changed the path of my life. And I never really wanted to be that guru that stood at the front of the room, that schmoozy guy saying, today and today only, I'll sell you $3,000 worth of education for just $997, and then turn around and, just do nothing but upsell you on more and more education packages. I don't ever want to be that guy. But I've been going around to a lot of these real estate investing clubs and speaking for them, teaching different real estate investing concepts. And every time I do, I have somebody approach me at the end saying, hey, will you be my mentor? Will you do this? Will you teach me more? And I just flat out, honestly, I don't have the time to invest that kind of resources into somebody, but I can see it in their eyes when they walk up to me. I can see it in their eyes as I'm speaking at the front of the room that, they see this as an opportunity to change their life. I definitely know it changed my life, and I want that opportunity to be available to people. I don't want somebody to stand there and say, you know what? I don't have enough money to do this, because that is the exact and total opposite of the truth. I've been to those seminars. I've personally sat in those seminars when I was dead broke and had that guy at the front of the room saying, you know what, you give me $50,000 and I'll teach you how to buy a $50,000 house, as ironic as that sounds. I've been in those situations, and, I'm not going to sit there and say that some of those education circles are bad. I'm the product of one of those. What I am going to say is that there are some of those education circles that are out there whose goal is to is to sell you education and not necessarily provide you education. And that kind of pisses me off a little bit. You know, if somebody takes $50,000 from you, their goal should be to make sure that you're the most successful real estate investor there ever was. Their goal shouldn't be to sell you more education. And I think that's a downfall in what we have these days. And that brings me to a thought. You know, I was reading a book, The Creature from Jekyll Island, and there's a quote in there from John D. Rockefeller. He was one of the original founders of the General Education Board. And in a loose quote on that was, you know, America needs a class of citizens that are educated enough to be good employees, but not educated enough to question their employers. True education should be reserved for the sons and daughters of the wealthy. And, you know, that whole concept kind of pisses me off, you know. But we're at a point in time in this world where education is at your fingertips. The internet is available to anybody that's out there. And it is my goal to change that direction of education. No longer should you be controlled by the amount of money that you were born with or the amount of money that you have in your back pocket. If you have the will and the desire to succeed in this world, then there should be nothing that limits you. And it is my goal with Propelio to provide that education to you and not it be some $20,000 sales package. That is just absolutely ludicrous. All I'm asking from you is to subscribe to us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and we will start producing some high quality educational content for you to view at your leisure. Spend 15 minutes during your next lunch break. Watch a video. I'll teach you how to wholesale. I'll teach you how to flip foreclosures, how to invest into probates. I'll teach you everything I can possibly teach you. I plan on sourcing some of the best content that I can possibly provide and putting this out there for you. So for every time you send me a message on the Propelio support saying, how do I do this? It is my goal to provide a video and an educational content for you to learn from. No longer are you going to be restrained by the amount of money you have in your back pocket. The only thing I ask you to do right now is click the subscribe button.